Dear seeker, pause for a moment and reflect. When this body of flesh and bone returns to dust, what truly remains of you? The body is like a garment, worn for a season and then cast aside. Yet, even as the garment falls, the fragrance of your being lingers. What is that unseen essence which continues to breathe, to dream, to wander beyond the gates of death? The sages call it the subtle body, the luminous traveler that survives the fall of the mortal frame. This question has haunted humanity since the dawn of time. If everything perishes, why do we feel so eternal within? Why do the eyes close in sleep each night, yet a dreamer continues within the dream? Why does memory, love, and longing outlive even the strongest limbs? The answer, as Babaji has revealed to countless seekers, lies in knowing the distinction between the perishable and the imperishable. The physical body is like clay shaped by destiny, fragile before the winds of time. But the subtle body is woven of finer threads, thought, prana, memory, and vibration. It is the invisible script upon which the story of your lifetimes is written. When the body drops away like a snake shading its skin, the subtle body carries your journey forward. Babaji, the deathless master, once reminded his disciples, "You are not this body, dear one. You are the current of light that wears it." To awaken to this truth is to be free of fear. For death is not an end, it is merely a doorway, a passage into realms where the subtle body continues its pilgrimage of light. So let us enter this mystery together and discover why the subtle body outlives the physical. Dear seeker, look closely at this form you call my body. It is a marvel of creation, yet it is bound by time. The sages have always compared it to a clay vessel, molded by the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Just as a pot is shaped and eventually breaks, so too the body is born, matures, and one day dissolves into the elements from which it came. Babaji would often explain that the physical frame is only a borrowed house, lent to the soul for a brief journey. We enter it at birth, we dwell in it for a span of years, and then, like a traveler moving from one inn to the next, we must leave it behind. The mistake most seekers make is clinging to the inn as if it were their eternal home. But as Babaji gently reminded his disciples, do not weep for the falling of the leaf, for the tree of life still stands within you. The physical body is fragile because it belongs to nature. It bends with age, breaks with illness, and finally rests when its energies are spent. This truth may appear somber, but it is in fact liberating. For if you are not the body, then death cannot touch your true essence. When a lamp burns, the oil is consumed and the wick grows short. Eventually, the flame flickers out, but the fire itself is not destroyed, it exists beyond the lamp. In the same way, the body is the lamp, and life's flame is something far greater. Understanding the temporary nature of the body is the first step toward freedom. For only when you stop identifying with what perishes, can you begin to know what is truly eternal. Dear seeker, if the physical body is but a garment, then what is it that wears this garment? What is it that survives when the cloth is torn? The sages reveal that behind the visible form exists a luminous sheath, the subtle body, woven not of flesh and blood, but of mind, prana, thought, and memory. It is the hidden traveler, the inner pilgrim who journeys across lifetimes. Babaji, in his boundless compassion, often explained to his disciples that the subtle body is the true blueprint of life. Just as a seed carries within it the design of a great tree, so too the subtle body carries within it the entire story of your destiny. Within its folds lie your karmic impressions, your longings, your talents, your fears, and your wisdom earned through countless births. Though the eyes cannot see it, the subtle body reveals itself in the radiance of your aura, in the weight of your thoughts, in the vibration of your breath. It is the silent architect behind every action, shaping how you walk, how you speak, how you dream. When the physical body falls, it is the subtle body that holds the continuity of your being, preserving all that you are yet to fulfill. Babaji would often say, the flower may wither, but its fragrance lingers in the air. In the same way, the body falls, but the fragrance of your soul, the subtle body, remains. To know the subtle body is to recognize that your true existence is far greater than the skin and bones you see. You are a traveler of light clothed in many forms, and the subtle body is your eternal companion, carrying you from world to world until you awaken to your infinite nature. Dear seeker, the reason the subtle body outlives the physical lies in their very nature. The physical body is formed of gross matter, heavy, perishable, and bound by time. The subtle body, however, is woven of finer vibrations, streams of prana and threads of thought. Matter returns to dust, but vibration endures, carrying the essence of who you are into realms unseen. Babaji often reminded his disciples, the body is the shell, but the subtle body is the current of life flowing within it. When the physical form collapses, the current does not vanish, it simply withdraws, like a river disappearing into the ocean yet still alive in its essence. This is why, even after death, the journey of the soul continues unbroken. The subtle body is not subject to decay because it belongs to a higher order of existence. It is composed of energy and consciousness, which are eternal forces. Just as music can outlive the instrument on which it was played, the subtle body carries the song of your being even after the instrument of flesh is broken. When death arrives, what truly happens is a gentle shifting of awareness. The senses withdraw, the heartbeat ceases, and the body lies still. But the subtle body, radiant, unseen, rises like mist from the waters, carrying memory, karma, and the spark of consciousness forward. Babaji would explain with infinite patience, the body falls away as a shadow disappears at sunset, but the light that casts the shadow never dies. Thus, the subtle body is not destroyed with death, for it is not bound to the earth. It is the bridge between lives, the eternal traveler that ensures the continuity of the soul's pilgrimage. Dear seeker, when the final breath is released and the body lies still, the story of the soul does not end, it simply changes its stage. The subtle body, luminous yet unseen, begins its onward journey into the astral realms. These realms, as Babaji lovingly described, are woven not of matter but of light, vibration, and thought. They are worlds more real than the earth we see, for they are untouched by decay and filled with the radiance of consciousness itself. In these realms, the subtle body experiences the fruits of its karma. Every action, every thought, every intention leaves an imprint upon the subtle sheath, and after death, these impressions draw the soul to the place that reflects its inner state. Those who cultivated love, peace, and devotion are lifted to realms of harmony and beauty, while those bound by fear, desire, or anger are drawn into darker spheres of learning. Babaji would often tell his disciples, death is not a punishment, but a passage. You travel to the place your own vibrations call you. In this way, the astral worlds are mirrors, showing the soul what it has become. Here, the subtle body rests, learns, and prepares. Some linger until their karmas are ripened, while others swiftly return to earth to continue their lessons. Rebirth is not chance, but the magnetic pull of unfinished desires. The subtle body, carrying these seeds, guides the soul into a new physical form, ensuring the continuity of evolution. Thus, dear seeker, death is not an end but a doorway, a transition from the classroom of earth to the vast university of the cosmos. The subtle body is the traveler that ensures your soul never loses its way. Dear seeker, why does it matter to know that the subtle body outlives the physical? Because this understanding is the key to freedom. Most of humanity clings desperately to the body, believing it to be the sum of existence. Fear of death, attachment to possessions, and the endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures all arise from this misunderstanding. But once you know that you are more than flesh and bone, your life takes on a higher purpose. Babaji often reminded his disciples, that which dies is not you. That which carries the fragrance of lifetimes is your true being. To realize this is to dissolve the greatest of all fears, the fear of death. When fear dissolves, courage awakens. When attachment loosens, freedom dawns. And when the eternal nature of the soul is understood, life becomes sacred in every moment. Understanding the subtle body also awakens responsibility. Every thought, word, and action you release into the world is etched into this luminous sheet. Nothing is lost, nothing disappears. The anger you release, the kindness you offer, the prayers you whisper, all are carried forward. This knowledge inspires us to live with awareness, to plant seeds of love instead of weeds of sorrow. Babaji would gently say, you cannot escape your own vibrations. Therefore, make them pure, and they shall carry you upward. To live with this awareness is to walk in balance. You begin to see the body as a sacred vehicle, yet not your eternal home. You treat each day as preparation for the greater journey beyond. You live not for fleeting gain, but for lasting light. Thus, dear seeker, the purpose of this truth is not mere knowledge, it is transformation. It is a call to live as an eternal being in a temporary world. Dear seeker, if the subtle body is the traveler that outlives the physical, then it is wisdom to care for it, refine it, and make it radiant. Just as you wash and nourish the body each day, so too the subtle body requires purification, for it carries the impressions of countless lifetimes. When left clouded by restlessness, desire, or fear, it becomes heavy and binds the soul to lower realms. But when made pure, it becomes a shining chariot, lifting the seeker toward liberation. Babaji always emphasized that the subtle body can be refined through disciplined spiritual practice. Breath is the doorway, for prana is the very thread of the subtle sheath. Through pranayam, meditation, and especially Kriya Yoga, the knots of energy within are untied, and the channels of light begin to flow freely. As Babaji once said, the yogi who governs breath governs destiny. Equally, the mind shapes the subtle body. Thoughts of anger, greed, and jealousy stain it, while thoughts of love, gratitude, and devotion brighten it. Service offered selflessly, meditation performed faithfully, and prayer uttered with sincerity all polish this hidden vessel. Over time, the subtle body becomes so light that it no longer binds the soul to repeated birth, but instead lifts it to the higher worlds. Babaji would lovingly remind, the body will fall, but the yogi rises on wings of subtle light. Thus, the goal is not to abandon the world, but to live in it with purity, eating, speaking, and acting with awareness, knowing that every vibration is recorded in the subtle form. When refined, the subtle body becomes a luminous bridge to the infinite, carrying the soul homeward, beyond death, beyond rebirth, into the eternal embrace of the divine. Dear seeker, we have journeyed together through the mystery of life and death, guided by the timeless wisdom of Babaji. We have seen how the physical body, though sacred, is but a temporary dwelling, how the subtle body, woven of prana, thought, and karma, carries the fragrance of your soul beyond the grave. We have learned that death is not an end, but a doorway, not a loss, but a transition. And we have discovered that by refining the subtle body through awareness, meditation, and love, we prepare ourselves for the highest journey. Babaji's eternal reminder shines like a lamp upon the path. You are not the body. You are the current of light that wears it. To live in this truth is to live without fear, without attachment, and without doubt, for you know that the flame of your being cannot be extinguished. So, dear seeker, as you walk through this world, remember, every thought you nurture, every word you speak, every act of kindness or anger, all are etched into your subtle body. Let this knowledge guide you to live with purity, compassion, and devotion, so that when the time comes to leave this garment of flesh, your subtle form will rise radiant, ready for the higher realms. If this teaching touched your heart, share your reflections in the comments below. How do you feel about the journey of the subtle body? What practices help you connect with your eternal self? I would love to hear your insights. Until we meet again on the next step of the journey, may Babaji's grace walk with you, may your subtle body shine with light, and may your soul rest in peace beyond all fear. Jai Guru Dev.